I've purchased a palette from Bad Habit, because you know how I love them, from Bad Habit, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to get this look, the one that I have on today. Kind of started out where I thought I was just going to do a basic, everyday kind of look, and then I looked at these colors, and I'm like, you know, you could really glam it up with this, and so I ended up with false lashes and bright lips and, you know, kind of glammed it up. But this is the Bad Habit palette. This was $16, and I am going to review it and do a tutorial on an eye look. So if you're interested in that, if you'll subscribe and like and stay tuned, then you're in for a treat. Ugh, who says that? So if you'll subscribe and like and stay tuned and all that good stuff, we will jump right into me using this palette, okay? Normally I don't cake on a lot of powder underneath my eyes to set my concealer. I mean, I know how everybody bakes, but I don't like to do that a ton, but I do have more powder underneath my eyes than I normally would, and I just use my Coty Airspun for that. And the reason that I'm doing that is because this palette, I'm putting my stuff back in my box, this palette is amazing. It is beautiful, but with the past experiences that I've had with the Bad Habit brand palettes, they are a little powdery, so you will probably get more fallout than you're used to. And so to combat that, I do have extra powder on my face so that hopefully it will brush away. You could just let it bake, and so you've got a lot of dusty powder, and you know, if you don't know what baking looks like, let me show you. If you have any sort of dry skin, baking's not my favorite because it tends to, you know, dry out your under eye, and mine is already kind of dried out anyway. Let me just set my little spots that are on my face. Mine is a little more dry anyway, so if I leave this sitting there, it's just gonna suck all the moisture out from under my eyes. I'm just gonna kind of dab that in. I can already see it drying my face out. But I've got more powder under my eyes so that when this does fall out, hopefully I can rake it away at the end, but we will see how that goes. Bad Habit is the best. If you don't know that by now, where have you been? My whole thought process in purchasing this one was $16, and you buy it from the Hush app. You can do Shop Hush, I think shophush.com, not really sure, just type it in, Shop Hush, and you do have to pay shipping if you order through their website. But if you download the app, which is just the pink app, it says Hush on it. I'm not sure if you type in Shop Hush or Hush, but you'll find it easy to find on your app store. If you purchase through the app, then it's always free shipping. I'm sure they're gonna change that one of these days because they're so super popular, but right now, you purchase anything through the app and you get free shipping. So what I have today is the Arabesque palette, and just the packaging on this is beautiful. It feels, I mean, this is the box that it came in, but the actual palette, the shadow palette, is super high-end feeling. You get 14 colors. Yeah, this is the actual palette. Just the feel of this feels super high-end. So my thought process in ordering this is I was looking at, and mine's a little dirty because I've been swatching it and playing with it a little bit. If you know anything about makeup, what does this remind you of? Can you see it? Shadow for shadow. Can you see them all? This is soft glam. When I was trying to decide what kind of video I wanted to bring you guys, I loved the way this palette looked. So I knew that I wanted to buy this one, and this is beautiful. For fall, this is gonna be so perfect. It's got a really nice matte black, and then it's got your cranberries. I would call that like a rose gold color. Really good transition shades, golds, yellows, browns. This is gonna be beautiful. This is going to be a soft glam look that you could wear every day. And I loved the way this palette looked. And then the more I started researching it, I figured out that this palette was a complete dupe for Anastasia's soft glam. I was kind of torn because I knew that I'd already purchased this. It was on its way, and I thought, well, do I go buy the soft glam palette to show you guys that they're a complete dupe, or do I find something else that's similar that is a high-end palette that I want that maybe has the same shades, so that I'm not, you know, because I hate to be wasteful. So these are awesome quality. Anything from Bad Habit so far has been amazing quality. The pigment's great. The only issue is that when you dip your brush in, you'll see it is a little dusty. I mean, there's going to be some kick up, and then so far there's been fallout. Some shades way more than others, but there's usually fallout. So I kind of prepped for that with a whole bunch of powder under my eyes. So I'm kind of ready for that situation. So I hated to go buy the Soft Glam palette when I had this one. This was awesome. So I thought, well, what can I purchase that's new that I can review and tell you guys about? So what I ended up doing was the brand new Pro palette, the number 4 by Lorac. Let's see, can y'all see that? Focused. So this was a new release on Ulta's website. I had not even seen it in person, and it came with a primer, so I thought, well, that's a pretty good deal. I paid $49 for this palette, and it came in, and here is the palette. It is super thin, you know, little, and it's about the same size as the Arabesque palette. This one feels fancier. In fact, I went to my husband and I said, okay, I have these 2 palettes. You tell me which one's the high end. Which one did I pay $49 and which one did I pay $16? And he sat there, and I mean, he's a really smart man. I mean, he married me. But he looked at it and he said, well, this one looks fancier and this one looks cheaper. So I'm gonna say this one is, he said, because you're trying to mess with my mind, I'm gonna say this one's the higher end. And he was right. But this palette is really pretty, and I'm still debating as to whether I want to keep it or not. It is a really beautiful palette. I mean, it's got a nice black. It has the purples that I love, like a Merlot purple, and it has the black currant, which is a deep purple. And then it's got, you know, a nice soft gold, rose gold. But then to me, these first 4 shades are super similar. I mean, that's kind of a waste. This one, and this one, I'm not going to be able to tell much of a difference between those 2, I don't think. My favorite colors are going to be the Begonia shade, the Merlot, and the black currant. And then it's just got regular browns and shimmers and things like that. I am not sure that this is worth $49. It's pretty similar to the Arabesque palette, but it's not the same. This has more warm pinky shades, warm pinky brown. I'm gonna say that's gonna look more burgundy, terracotta, and this is definitely purple. If I decide to keep it, then I'll do a review. I purchased this instead of purchasing the Norvina palette, and the more I studied that one, I mean, it's beautiful, but I never would wear pastel purples and pastel pinks. I'm just not, that's not really my style. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a look, even though they're not the same, and I was kind of hoping they'd be a little more similar, but then again, I wanted them to be. Anyway, I know they're not the same because this has more of a burgundy feel to it than the purples, and I really like the purples. I just don't know, $49 for the 3 shadows that I like. That's probably not smart for me to keep that. So I'm gonna try to create a look with this Arabesque palette, and if I'm just totally in love with it, then I'm not gonna feel bad about taking my Lorac palette back. So let's create a soft glam look, and to do that, I am going to prime my eyes. NYX Proof It, which is a waterproof eyeshadow primer. May need a little more. Doesn't take much. This stuff lasts forever. Because if you have watched any of my other videos, you know that I'm a real big fan of the waterproof eyeshadow primers, and I've spent some mega money on those, which I don't know if that's the smartest decision in the world, because I know a lot of people just use concealer, but I guess if you had a waterproof concealer, then you might be good to go. But I like having a waterproof eyeshadow primer that can grab hold and hang on to my look. Because I mean, you know, you're spending all this money on fancy eyeshadows, and if you don't have something underneath to grab hold of that and hang on to it and make it last all day, then what's the point, you know? So we're gonna start with a big fluffy brush. It doesn't matter the brand, just a big fluffy blending brush. Mine's by Sigma E40 is the brand on that. And then I think we're going to do a transition shade. This one's a little darker. This one's called Interlude, and this one's lighter called Satin. So let's see what the satin looks like first. And I'm just picking that up on the end. Oh, you're gonna get fallout. That is something that's gonna happen with this brand. Okay, so we're gonna just go over. Okay, so I'm liking the way that looks. And that's sticking pretty good. And this is kind of a peachy, it's a little more peachy than just a vanilla shade. My Coty, the Airspun powder that we started with, you could zip that over your whole lid if you were worried about not being able to blend, because the one thing about this NYX Proof It, the primer that we're using, it dries down tacky. It dries down sticky, which is great for grabbing your shadow and for making it more intense. So just kind of be aware of that if you have a problem with blending, or if that kind of intimidates you, all you have to do is just top it before you get started. Top it with some face powder. There's you an option for that if a sticky primer intimidates you. All this hair is intimidating me. All right, so now we're gonna pick up this Interlude, which was the other one that I was considering to use as a transition shade. And I'm gonna go just right under where my transition was, just in the crease, and kind of deepen that up a little bit. Shadow and depth. I mean, that's what you're doing with eyeshadows. You're creating shadows and light. I mean, I guess that's why I like makeup so much, because I'm a photographer. And so photography is all about shadow and light. So I also have an empty blending brush that I don't use for anything else other than blending, and this is a terrible brush. If you've watched my videos for a while, I paid $1.99 for this, and it's from Essence. And my dog's snoring down there. This one is the Pirouette. I don't know how you say that. I mean, I know the word, but my little country accent is not letting me say that. All right, so I'm just going to layer this over, and this is a really soft shade. Okay, this purpley shade is really light. So this would be where your soft glam comes in if we were saying this was an actual dupe, which it is, but I didn't buy that palette, so I can't do one eye with the high end and one eye with my $16 palette and tell you that they're dupes, because I thought that they were so similar, but when I looked at the palette in Ulta, I thought, gosh, that looks identical to the one that I just ordered, so I hated to buy it too and then have two palettes that were exactly the same. So what I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna pick up Nutcracker, and I've switched brushes on y'all. This is an E25, also by Sigma. And I'm going to just blend those together. And I'm going for like a soft glam look. And then just kind of building that to the inner corner. And I'm not getting as much, well, look at that. Never mind, do not finish that sentence that I was about to say. I was gonna say I'm not getting nearly as much fallout as I thought that I was gonna get, but my hand was just blocking it. I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And it bugs me. That's like my huge, I can't just ignore it and do it at the end. I have to constantly be getting that off my face. I can't handle it. Okay, so that's just really pretty, I think. I mean, that's kind of a pinky shade going into just a little bit darker pink. So here's where you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, you can always do that anyway, right? But I have it kind of fading into this orangey peachy shade, and I like a little more drama. I'm not really a natural, I mean, I am on a day-to-day basis whenever I'm just working. You know, when you gotta go to work, you want something that's pretty, that kind of stands out, but then you don't want to look like Magda, you know, from, what was that, Something About Mary? Some kind of crazy with blue eyeshadow. No, Mimi from Drew Carey. Remember that one with the blue eyeshadow and the... That's not my everyday look. I'm not really into that. So I think what I want to do is I want to just darken this out here just a little bit more on my outer V. And I think the best one to do for that one is Releve. So Releve, people that dance, because I think these are dance words: leotards, tutu, avant, satin, pirouette, tutu, waltz, ballet slippers, interlude, melodrama. So I bet you this is releve. I think there's a tiny little apostrophe over the end, over the E. So I'm gonna say that word is releve, but it's kind of a brown, burgundy brown. I bet you it's gonna be beautiful. So we're gonna just kind of pull it out here on the edge in this outer V area. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty. And you could still use the E25. I'm just using a flat shader brush, which is 55, E55. I'm gonna pull that a little more in. Okay, and just going out here on this V. And I'm just gonna go over that. My $1.99 Essence blending brush. And here's a trick. If you get into that situation where your shadow is not blowing out and soft and you don't have another blending brush, then what you can always do is come back. The transition shade that we used, which was the satin color, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that and just go right on the edge of where I'm having trouble getting that to blend out. And that will help you get that soft, blown out, blended look. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. That's a soft glam look. That's something that you could use every day. I keep saying soft glam. That's not the name of this palette. Okay, so to kind of make it a little more foiled, I'm gonna put a little more of this NYX Proof It in the very center of my eye to give this something to even stick to a little more. So I'm just gonna put it, and I've gotten it on my eyelid, on my lashes. Okay, so we're going to take a flat brush, just a really flat, whatever you have. I don't even know what brand this one is. And then I'm just going to kind of paint that right there in the center. And I'm kind of hoping to soften the edges. Just feather the edges out a little bit. And you could use glitter glue for this, but this primer is really good about it applies a little tacky. So that's all I'm wanting is just you can kind of see where it muddied the color. So I'm gonna put this right in the center. I'm gonna go with gold. And we can foil this on, but now that we've got that to just kind of be a little more tacky, we're gonna put this Grand Plie. And see, that one's got a little tiny mark over the E2, so I'm pretty sure that that was releve. People that are into dance, y'all let me know if that's an actual word. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up this gold, which is Grand Plie, and I'm gonna put it right here, whoa, right here in the center. I mean, that worked. I just wanted kind of a kiss of gold right there in the middle, but it is more like a smooch. More of releve, the one that I don't know how to say, and kind of come over on that outer V. I mean, this is the shade set that you could wear every day. I mean, I think that's why it's considered, well, no, it's not soft glam. That's what it dupes, but Arabesque, that's a good one. I'm gonna pair this shadow with a new one that I've gotten by LA Girl, and I got this at CVS. It is a metal liquid lipstick, and the color that I have is lustrous. Okay, the color that I have is lustrous, and I think that's really gonna bring out, I mean, look at that berry burgundy color. That may be a little too much. All I need to do to finish this is I'm going to put a little eyeliner underneath my eye, flat brush, soften that up a little bit. And so I'm going to actually grab the same releve shade, that purpley brown, and go right there under. Ooh, and I just kind of flung that, blend that in. This is a dual-ended brush, so it's flat on one end and fluffy on the other. Do I look like a clown? Oh, I have a tendency to put my lipstick on and then regret my choices. I'm using a gel eyeliner. This one is by Maybelline Eye Studio, and I'm using just an angled eyeliner brush right at the base of my upper lash line. And I'm not feeling a wing today. And then all we need is to put some mascara on and lashes, and so let's do that. And there is our final look. So if you haven't tried Bad Habit, I'm telling you, this is where it's at. This is what you need. You will never need anything other than a Bad Habit palette, and they are my favorite. I'm addicted. Pretty sure I'm taking this one back. And if you've enjoyed this video, if you will please subscribe and like it and hit the bell and all that good stuff that everybody asks for you to do, that would be awesome. And y'all have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.